Hello everybody, my name is Adam Michael Anthony Simpson and you're watching Adam M.A. Simpson, my YouTube channel. And today we'll be talking about what led me to graduate school and just a little bit more about my life story. So before we get into any of the story and more about me, I'm planning on interviewing many academics, students, professors, postdocs, and even academics that went into industry and others outside of STEM, like in the humanities. And I want to use this format to, show what led people to pursuing their careers or, research and academia on a whole. Just to hear more about different stories and what impact people's lives in order to devote their at least this season of their life to, or for some professors their entire life, to learning how to learn and research on a whole. And so I'm just displaying this format through my own story, and I hope that you find this interesting. As you know, I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, and I went to high school at St. Edmund Campion College. We call it Campion College for short. And yeah, it was a very good school. I enjoyed my time there. I had a lot of good friends, and I of course met my wife Victoria there. And in Jamaica we start high school in the 7th grade. We don't really consider it middle school or consider a middle school. It's just elementary school, high school, or what we call primary school or prep school, then high school. And I met Vicky in the 7th grade. But my interest in chemistry on a whole started at Campion. I had a series of good teachers and tutors. I had a really good teacher, Mr. Graham, at Campion, and also a very good tutor who was a teacher at another high school, Mr. Harris. And they really opened my eyes to chemistry, and for some reason it clicked. I always thought of myself as an artistic person, and the sciences were just something that I wasn't going to be able to do. And chemistry just clicked, and I just really loved the subject. But if you read my about me on my website, the about page, and I'll put that in the description box below, you will know that I was kind of pushed to pursue engineering from a young age. And so when it was time to go to college, and I wanted to go to college in the States, and eventually got into Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, I decided that since I can't just do pure chemistry, I'm going to do chemical engineering. And just a disclaimer, chemical engineering does not have much chemistry in it. It's I think the name is incorrect. It should be considered process engineering, I guess. That's what it should be called, because you don't really need to know much about chemistry beyond A plus B makes C or like an equilibrium reaction in some instances, and then maybe some PChem or an understanding of enthalpy and entropy. But the chemistry is not chemistry like pure chemistry. It's a different kind of, it's its own thing. So I went and did chemical engineering, and because it was a requirement to take organic chemistry, and eventually you could take organic chemistry too, I decided to, as an elective, take organic chemistry too with Professor Danith Lee, who I eventually did research with in undergrad. And I just really loved how he taught. I think really how he taught the subject shaped my deeper understanding of organic chemistry and how chemistry works. Because he didn't teach us to remember things, he taught us how to recognize relationships, and from relationships be able to predict what would happen. The fact that he was teaching us to remember relationships and not just rote memory really made me admire his teaching style, and up to now I haven't had a class like that. And so I decided to do research with Professor Lee, doing organic chemistry synthesis and doing antibiotic. We're trying to synthesize an antibiotic based on RTD1, which is a defensin, or like a natural antibiotic found in this monkey, the rhesus macaque's immune system. But that's just a side note. I'm not going to go into that detail right now. But a part of that project was that I needed to, if we eventually got to synthesize this antibiotic, I'd have to do two-dimensional NMR. And like in the classes I took, I eventually took advanced organic chemistry with Professor Da Silva at Carnegie Mellon, and we learned 2D NMR, but not on large scale oligomers. It was just small molecules, and I wanted to experience learning more about how to figure out what a molecule was from a 2D NMR. So I applied to do a research internship at the University of Kiel, or Christiana Albertina University of Kiel, and I did research with Professor Frank Söennichsen, and was taught under his PhD student Matthias Lipfert in Kiel, which is in Germany. And this was through the DAAD Rise summer research internship program through one of Germany's like agencies, or I'm not sure what to call it, but I applied through DAAD Rise. And I actually highly recommend that program. I was in Germany for 2.5 months for a summer and got to do research at this amazing institution, which was the research center that Diels Alder did his research. If you're a chemistry nerd, you would definitely know the Diels Alder reaction. And so the chemistry department's name is the Otto Diels Institute. So that was like something that made the department proud. And I was happy to be there. And so I decided to do this research doing 2D NMR protein engineering, and I was focusing on using a chimeric approach to stabilizing an amoeba pore A protein using the tryptophan cage protein. Not going into that right now, but just basically trying to stabilize protein folding and using two-dimensional NMR to figure out if the protein folding stability is being optimized. And I really enjoyed that program and my direction under Matthias and Professor Frank Söennichsen. But I was going through a little dilemma. That was at the ending of my junior year, after a year and a summer of research under Danny Lee, and then that summer research under Frank Söennichsen. I was going through a dilemma as to what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go straight back to Jamaica because I wanted to experience more and be able to bring something to the plate and not just a degree. I wanted to be able to bring something tangible and I don't know, almost like a business or something to Jamaica, not just my degree. And there's nothing wrong with having a degree and going back home and contributing to society in that way, but for me, I wanted to do something else. So I had a dilemma, and growing up, being pushed to be an engineer to support our family company, which drills wells for water, Jamaica Wells and Services Limited, a company that my grandfather founded himself against all odds. I'm very proud of my grandpa, and then also my father, who took the company where it was from his parents, my grandpa and his wife, my grandmother, who is unfortunately, she passed away, was also a very integral part of the company. And my father took it and has really done wonders. My father is very business savvy. He's a natural artist himself. He went to college to be a photographer, and really through experiences under the company taught himself how to be an engineer. He's now the only registered well driller in Jamaica, and I believe, well, when I was growing up in the Caribbean, and he has no engineer degree himself, but he studied the book and learned it on his own, and became a well driller and hires engineers and leads engineers himself. So very smart and very business savvy. He also expanded the company to distribute pumps and design pumps, and also he supplies water through another subsidiary. Very business savvy, and so I can understand how I would be encouraged to continue the family business, which I am and still want to continue, but I still need to figure out who I am and how I can contribute myself to Jamaica and the world at large. And so I had a dilemma and decided that I wanted to pursue my PhD because I'm an academic. I love research. But I wanted to do something that was closer to home. So I started to research engineering and what kinds of engineering dealt with water purification, and water in the environment. And that's when I discovered, because in undergrad we didn't really learn much about the other fields, like what the other fields did. I was just good at chemical engineering and chemistry. And then that's when I discovered that environmental engineers study water purification in natural systems and water processing, and that's more in the civil and environmental engineering department. So then I decided to create a list of schools and professors I was interested in their research. And because I knew Jamaica had a nitrate issue in some of the groundwater through my family's company, I decided to apply under the motivation to study denitrifying water wetland treatment systems. And along the way I met some very great professors at other institutions besides the institution that I came to, which is Stanford. And even at Stanford I met other professors that I was interested in. And but I think in the end I picked the right type of research and professor for me. Hello everybody, I'm Adam Michael Anthony Simpson. You're watching my YouTube channel, Adam M.A. Simpson. Thank you for watching part 1 of this video about what led me to graduate school. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for part 2.